Congratulations on the purchase of your new Kenmore computerized sewing machine, Model 19233. We know that you're excited to start creating original projects with your new machine. You'll be shown how your sewing machine's user-friendly functions allow you to carry out the simplest tasks or tackle the most advanced sewing projects. We will cover basic machine operation, conventional stitches, advanced stitches, and finally, the care and maintenance of your machine. Each section of the video is color-coded to make it easy to locate the specific topic you are looking for. Set your VCR counter at 0 to begin viewing this tape. Record the counter number at the start of each section. This will assist you in locating the appropriate section later. Or press the fast forward button while in play to visually locate the color-coded sections of this tape. So settle back and get ready for the ultimate sewing experience. The extension table provides additional surface area for sewing bulky items and also serves as an accessory storage box. Open the lid of the extension table and you will find compartments where you can conveniently store extra feet and other accessories. In addition to the standard zigzag foot that comes attached to the machine, the Kenmore 19233 includes 8 specialized feet. They allow users to take full advantage of the machine's versatile capabilities. The zigzag foot for regular sewing. The overcasting foot for overcasting seams. The over-edge foot for over-edging fabrics that unravel. The zipper foot for sewing in zippers and attaching piping. The satin stitch foot for sewing a dense zigzag stitch or decorative stitch patterns. The blind hem foot for creating invisible hems on garments or top stitching. The buttonhole foot for perfectly sized buttonholes. The darning foot for darning holes in fabric or free motion embroidery or quilt stippling. And the straight stitch foot for sewing fine fabrics. To detach the extension table from the machine for free arm sewing, pull it to the left to remove it. To reattach the extension table, slide it from left to right and push to snap it in place. Before connecting the machine to the power supply, make sure to turn the power switch off. Insert the foot control plug into the machine socket. Insert the power supply cord into the opening on the machine. Then plug it into a power outlet. If you cannot see the LCD display clearly, adjust the screen contrast by turning the LCD adjusting button with the pad of your finger. You can set the screen message to appear in English, Spanish, or French. While pushing the memory key, turn on the power switch and then release the memory key. Push 1 for English, 2 for French, or 3 for Spanish, and then press the memory key. To secure the beginning and the end of a seam, use the reverse button. At the beginning of the seam, sew a few stitches. Press and hold the reverse button to backstitch over the previous stitches. Release the reverse button and continue sewing at the end of the seam. When you reach the end of the seam, press and hold the reverse button. After backstitching over the stitches, release the reverse button and resume sewing forward. Another way to secure a stitch in place is to use the auto lock button. Once the last pattern begins to sew, press the auto lock button. The machine will finish sewing the pattern, then make a locking stitch. The machine will stop automatically. Press the needle up-down button to raise or lower the needle. Once the needle up-down button is pressed, the needle will stop in the down position. The machine will always stop in the down position, even after a different stitch is selected. until the needle up-down button is pressed again. This feature is useful for quilting and turning corners while stitching. Programming the needle to always stop in the down position holds your stitch in place, while you lift the presser foot to adjust the material being sewn. The sewing speed control lever lets you adjust the sewing speed. Slide the lever to the right to increase the speed when sewing straight seams. Slide the lever to the left to decrease the speed for accuracy when sewing with decorative stitch patterns or applique designs. To fill a bobbin with a new thread color or to wind an empty bobbin, lift up the spool pin and place the spool of thread on the pin with the thread coming off the spool from the back of the machine. Attach the spool holder to hold the spool firmly in place. Your machine comes with 2 spool holders. Use a large spool holder with the large spools. And use the small spool holder for smaller spools. You can also use the spool stand to help thread unwind smoothly from the spool, particularly helpful when sewing with metallic threads. If you need to wind a bobbin while the machine is threaded, the additional spool pin avoids having to unthread the machine. Insert the additional spool pin into the spool stand, then insert both into the opening on the top of the machine. Place the spool pin felt and a spool of thread on the additional spool pin. Regardless of which spool pin you use for the winding of the bobbin, hold the thread at the spool and draw it around the bobbin winder thread guide, as shown in the diagram on the machine. Insert a free end of a good quality thread through the hole in the bobbin from the inside towards the outside. Place the bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle and push it to the right. You should hear the bobbin winder spindle click into place. The LCD screen will indicate that the machine is in bobbin winding mode. Holding the free end of the thread, depress the foot control. Stop the machine when the bobbin has made a few revolutions. Trim the thread close to the top of the bobbin. Continue filling the bobbin by depressing the foot control. The bobbin will automatically stop winding when it is completely filled. Release the foot control, return the bobbin winder spindle to the left, and remove the bobbin. Cut the thread with a pair of scissors. To place the bobbin in the bobbin holder, slide the hook cover release button on the needle plate to the right. The hook cover plate will pop up. Remove the hook cover plate. Place the bobbin in the bobbin holder so the thread unwinds counterclockwise. Draw out the thread and slip into the notch on the front of the bobbin case. Gently pull the thread to the left between the tension spring blades until the thread slips into the notch on the side of the bobbin holder. Now draw the free end of the thread to the back, leaving a 6-inch tail. Reattach the hook cover plate to the needle plate. For your convenience, a threading diagram is shown on the hook cover plate. You are now ready to thread the machine. Raise the thread take-up lever to the highest position by turning the hand wheel towards you. Raise the presser foot. Place a spool of thread on the spool pin and secure it with a spool holder. You will notice that each threading point is clearly marked with a number indicating the order of the threading sequence. First, draw the thread down around the upper thread guide while holding the thread at the spool. Draw the thread down into the slot of the right side of the tension dial. Guide the thread around the bottom of the thread guide and pull it up to the thread take-up lever. Pass the thread into the slit of the take-up lever from right to left. Firmly draw the thread down into the eye of the take-up lever. Continue to draw the thread down along the left slot to the lower thread guide. Pass the thread behind the lower thread guide from the right. Then slip the thread into the needle bar thread guide on the left. It's easy to thread the needle with a built-in needle threader. Press the needle up-down button twice to raise the needle to its highest position. Lower the presser foot. Pull down and push back the threader knob, guiding the hook on the threader through the eye of the needle. The threader works best on size 11 needles and up. Pull the thread down around the thread guide on the threader and then pass the thread from left to right under the hook. Slowly release the knob while holding the thread end with your fingers. A loop of the thread will be pulled backward through the eye of the needle. Pull the tail of thread through the eye of the needle into the rear. To draw the bobbin thread up, raise the presser foot and turn the power switch on. Hold the tail of the needle thread firmly in your hand. Press the needle up-down button twice. Pull on the needle thread to draw up a loop of the bobbin thread. Pull both threads about 6 inches to the rear of the machine under the presser foot. To change presser feet, press the needle up-down button twice to raise the needle to its highest position. Turn the power switch off. Raise the presser foot by lifting the presser foot lifter located to the right of the foot. Press the red button on the back of the foot holder to release the foot. Place the desired foot under the foot holder so the pin on the foot lies just under the groove on the foot holder. Finally, lower the presser foot lifter to lock the foot in place. The needle thread tension is set at 4 on the thread tension dial for most sewing needs. To adjust the thread tension, turn the tension control dial. The higher the number, the tighter the top thread tension will be. The lower the number, the looser the top thread tension will be. To lower or raise the feed dogs, remove the extension table and shift the lever on the back of the free arm. When finished sewing, shift the lever back. The feed dogs will return to the original position upon starting the machine or pressing the needle up-down button. For sewing on a button or free motion quilting, simply attach the spring-loaded darning foot and lower the feed dogs. This feature is especially useful for creating trapunto designs or stippling on thick quilt layers. You can create free motion stitching using the needle up-down button to make the needle stop in the down position at the end of the stitch. There is a wide variety of stitch patterns and monograms available on your machine. Open the flip-up quick reference chart to view additional stitch patterns, the space key, and the block letters in the upper and lower case. The stitch patterns are classified into 3 groups: Direct Mode 1 for basic and buttonhole stitches, Mode 2 for utility stitches, other buttonholes, decorative, heirloom, and quilting stitches, Mode 3 for block monogramming letters. Press the Mode key to scroll through the modes. Select the desired pattern from the choices. The LCD screen will display the first pattern of the selected group. To select the patterns in Direct Mode 1, simply press the desired pattern on the keypad. To select the patterns from the other modes, select the appropriate mode on the keypad and then enter 2-digit pattern number from the Flip Top Quick Reference chart. The LCD screen will display the pattern number and stitch image, the recommended foot, as well as the preset stitch width and length. The Kenmore 19233 is programmed to use the appropriate stitch length and width for each selected pattern. However, you can adjust these settings to suit your specific sewing needs. To adjust the stitch length, press the stitch length plus or minus key on the right.